Let's discuss the top 10 lies that make dating women hard for men. Before I begin, there are a few things you should be aware of. Number 1. This may contradict some of your preconceived notions about women, which you may have had for months or years. Some of you who are a little older may have had these for decades. Some of this may be painful. So the realities I'm about to reveal, my entire purpose with today's presentation, is to not only offer you greater clarity and focus into the truths of what women actually respond to, but by the end, I'll show you exactly why these lies have been making it so much harder for men to attract the women they want to in real life. Let's begin. Number 1. Men should be expressive. This is the biggest lie I see running wild among males who are dating right now. This is also true for men who approach women in person. This is especially true for men who use internet dating. It doesn't appear to matter whether this is true for guys who meet women on Instagram. What has happened is that popular media such as Hollywood or Netflix has promoted this narrative that guys are exposed to, and hence which makes them want to be more open and expressive. It's not true what this narrative says, and it isn't until men experience some kind of grief or heartbreak that these truths tend to surface. Even if you include things like music and radio, it's typically men who are overly passionate about women, men who place women on pedestals, or men who simply believe they must continually show their innermost emotions for women. Is there anything wrong with emotion? Certainly not. But here's what I can tell you. If you live by emotion rather than logical, rational, objective reality, you're going to get burned on the playing field. What has happened is that the youth has been constantly taught that if they show emotion, they will be rewarded with women, which cannot be further from reality, in my opinion. Number 2. Women like nice guys. The second lie that men repeatedly believe is that women like nice guys. For some of you who may argue that it's a no-brainer, but for others, hearing that women don't necessarily like nice guys may be a completely new concept. Here's what I can say about this. Women only appreciate nice guys when they're older, since a nice guy will bring them comfort and security, right? It's where the family lives. But the trouble is that when that man was younger, women would not give him a second opportunity or even look in his direction. As a result of this, men who are extremely nice got dumped on a regular basis, or they were unable to find a date. You wouldn't believe how many people I've worked with who have told me about women who say they're busy, working, or unavailable for a date only to go out that night with some other guy. And just because these people were nice, they were overlooked and ignored. Number 3. Women want romance. Again, this could not be further from the truth. And this even goes into point number 1 with things like media and/or songs or radio. Guys are reminded time and time again that women appreciate romantic men, beautiful gestures, flowers, love notes, and roses. I can tell you this firsthand, this turns away any genuine desire and intimacy drive she would normally have for you. This is why. The truth is that when a man leads with romance, the woman believes she has him figured out and knows that she's done her work to seduce him. And now she has him at her fingertips. Maybe this is social conditioning of the modern age, or maybe this is something else. But what they show on TV regarding romantic men doesn't work for men in real life. Number 4. Men should always pursue women, not the other way around. This lie irritates me so much because I firmly believe you can put yourself out there and approach a woman. However, if you lack appropriate pre-selection value, a woman will not see any value in you. Men should not necessarily pursue women to the extent that they currently are. You will see a man frequently DM 70 women and approach every single woman in sight in absolute desperation. This is because he's still subtly parasitizing women and wearing his heart on his sleeve. Not only should men not seek women to the extent that they are, but women should pursue the types of men that they are interested in. But I'll let you in on a little secret. They do, and they always have, and they will continue to do so in the future. Here's why women seek high-value males or men who have been pre-selected. Men communicate through content and reasoning. Women connect with one another through contact or covert communication. Women have always pursued males who have piqued their attention. The key is to build a whole stack. The idea is to position yourself as a guy of worth and a full stack man in the top 1% of men. These are the types of men that are consistently chosen by all women. As a result, I strongly advise you to transform yourself into a high-value man. Number 5. Only the bad boys get the women. This is a double-edged sword, which means it's true and false. Some of you may be aware that bad boys do get a lot of hot women. It's true because the bad boy is the only one who is willing to lead. And it's because the bad boy is now the only one with a masculine frame. It's false because, with the advent of pro-female movements around the world, any man displaying typically manly characteristics is now beginning to be shunned by society as a whole, which essentially makes this point a double-edged sword with only half-truth in it. The fact is that if you are willing to lead a woman in any way, shape, or form, you will begin to exhibit the correct pillars of masculinity and, ultimately, the fortitude that all women are drawn to. Women do not want a wide range of choices. Women desire a highly invested and deep love for one man, like a deep connection to only one guy they consider to be with. Number 6. It's only what's inside that matters. I can tell you right now that this is just nonsense. I'm going to tell you something. Women love successful men, and women adore men with prestige. The reason for this is that this type of individual has a plan. This man knows where he wants to go in life and has a compass for the things he considers valuable. Therefore, I recommend that you make a plan. Not only do I urge you to build a strategy, but I also advise you to have that plan generate fruit, create success for yourself, and establish authority and or position in an industry or anything for which you are well known. So, a man with the best personality and the kindest heart won't make the final cut for a woman because he is not wealthy, or he is not good looking, or he does not have social influence, etc. Number 7. Women like emotional men. You've probably heard this. This could not be further from the truth, and it is a deception. The fact that you took this trap implies that you are not competent enough to recognize that it was a trap in the first place. What do we know about masculine competence? It is one of the most appealing characteristics to women. So, why are they saying this? So, let me explain something to you. Women today are not always the best at explaining what they want, but they are fantastic at describing to you how they want it. What this actually implies is that she wants to be affected by the emotions you're instilling in her, as an emotional man is one who has a strong emotional pull on her. Okay, but that doesn't mean you have to be too emotional. This implies that you must be present at the scene. And she needs to recognize that the fact of the feelings that you are delivering, you are the one pulling the strings, and you are the one with the leverage. Number 8. Be her friend first. We've all seen personally how this kills attractiveness on all fronts. You will see males, and don't misinterpret this. It might even be you. And this can happen at any age. It can happen at the age of 15 or 35. By being her really good friend, you have not placed a value on your time. You have given her all control, and you have delivered every signal that says, hey, I like you overtly without her having to do anything other than exist. As a result of this, she doesn't have to put in any effort. Being her friend gets you nowhere. All it does is that it gets you firmly in the friend zone. Number 9. Money gets the girls. Let me explain something extremely important about this. If you have a guy worth $50 million and he pulls up a photo of his bank account and says, hey, look at this, will you sleep with me now? And the woman he will be speaking to will feel humiliated. Let's pretend this guy who has a girlfriend makes $5,000 every month. He is focusing his efforts on his ambition and purpose. Guess what happens next? When February 2023 arrives, his business begins to take off and he earns $10,000. He doubles his income in 1 month. When he gets home that day, he shares the news with his girlfriend, who is overjoyed and believes that not just he, but they have doubled their income. That will make her love the guy more. Not because he's making more money, but because he has the ambition to do so. Number 10. Material wealth gets the girls. There are many things that I'm seeing as a result of this Instagram culture. I'm witnessing males duped into believing that status, money, and popularity are the ultimate keys to winning and keeping a woman, which couldn't be further from the truth. Let's have a look at a few examples. Right? Consider Will and Jada. Jada abandoned him and even cheated on him. Consider Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan. Let's take another look at this. Angelina abandoned Brad, who is one of the coolest guys in Hollywood. These goods will never keep a woman. The reason for this is that these things do little to demonstrate a man's interior masculine structure. When she notices him becoming weak emotionally, it doesn't matter how valuable he is. It doesn't matter anything. He's out, and she has no desire for him. I apologize if these lies have hurt you. But I also want you to know that I'm not going to sugarcoat the truth. To keep you calm, I'm going to tell you every lie I can think of so that we can shatter your old belief sets and adopt new belief sets that will ultimately move you forward. So these are some of the lies, or rather, some of the biggest false narratives promoted by society today. Do not fall for them, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel.